What is going on, Slay Baes? It's Ashley and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is gonna be pretty laid back. I pulled out a bunch of different products that I either had in my collection or I just got in the mail this week. Now my Sephora VIB Rouge order came in, so I will be using those products in today's video. And I also got a big old package from Fenty Beauty. They sent over their cream blushes and also cream bronzers. You guys already know how I feel about Fenty. I'm really excited and I'm interested in seeing if these are in fact worth the hype. So if you guys are excited for today's video, y'all already know what to do. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, click that bell and like the video. Likes go a very long way, so make sure you like the video. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. So the only thing I've done so far are my eyebrows. You guys, I cleaned them up a little bit. What do you think? I think they look so good considering like I only had a pair of tweezers. Like I just plucked a lot of the hairs that were just like wandering down my eyes. So I think they look really good. I'm gonna jump into eyeshadow primer. I just got this in the mail from Hourglass. This is the Hourglass Veil Eye Primer. I have no idea if it's going to be good. You guys know how I feel about eye primers. Like I love eye primers that have a little bit of coverage to them, so that way they could really mute out my eyelids and act as a really nice canvas for eyeshadow application. This here looks a little runny. It does look like it would have some pigment to it. So the brush I'm going to use is an ABH A16 and I'm going to put this all over. And I think I spoke too soon. Doesn't really look like it has any coverage to it. It is a very liquidy eyeshadow primer, and I have the paper right in front of me. It says it's going to give you up to 24-hour wear. It's a smoothing and hydrating, waterproof, vegan and cruelty-free eyeshadow primer, which I mean, I love all of that in an eyeshadow primer, but I do appreciate a little bit more coverage, and this really isn't giving it to me. All right, so now that my eyes are nice and primed, I'm gonna jump into eyeshadow application. I'm gonna use the Identity 2 Persona Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. I purchased this maybe last year and I hauled it in a haul and I never got around to using it. So I'm gonna dip into this today. I'm gonna pick up the shade right here called Kind on a Morphe M441, and I'm just gonna run this in my crease as like my base shadow before like full-blown eyeshadow application. This is just gonna help me with blending a little bit. So the next shade I'm gonna pick up is this one right here. It's called Loyal. It's a really pretty like soft brown shade, and I'm gonna take it on that same M441 brush. And I'm just gonna go back and forth and really rock it in my crease to give it some definition. So now that I have that really pretty soft brown color in my crease, I'm gonna go in with my next shade. This shade right here is kind of like a deeper brown and it's called Brave. I'm gonna take that on a M507 and I'm gonna focus it right here towards the base and like the outer V. Like this is a really intense and very pigmented brown. I was not expecting that. Like normally when I go in with a brown, it's really not all that pigmented all at once, but this one has a lot of pigment to it, and I really like that. I'm just gonna take a clean brush and really just soften the edges and diffuse it out because, honey, that was a lot of pigment. If you guys have ever tried like Persona Cosmetics eyeshadows, let me know what you guys think of them down below in the comments. I do have the Identity 1 palette, but I really love the packaging of the Identity 2 palette a lot more. It is a plastic packaging as opposed to a paperboard packaging. I just feel like it feels a little bit more luxe and high quality, especially for the price point. For me, whenever a palette retails for like $40-something or close to $40 and it's paperboard packaging, I'm just kind of like,
what kind of shit is that?
Like, where's my money going? Like, I know the eyeshadows can't cost that much. But anyways, I'm just taking this color and I'm really blowing it out in the outer edge of my eye. I'm also trying not to take it above that transitional shade I already put in my crease. So just going back and forth, small circular motions. And if I need to pick up a little bit more of that shadow, I'll dust it on the tip and just keep blending. Just keep blending. Just keep blending. Okay, so 10 out of 10. I really love these eyeshadows so far. I feel like when they hit the lid, they really stick to the area you place it, but then it gives you enough playtime to really buff and blend it out before it completely sets. And that's what I really like. Like, while I love eyeshadows that are user-friendly in a sense, when you put them down, they're easy to blend out. I love that I don't have to really go in with so much eyeshadow to really get it to its full intensity. It's very much pigmented all on its own. So I'm gonna take my next shade. I really want to use a shade called Confident and do more of like a really pretty kind of like gunmetal smoky eye, but like, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I do know. I'm gonna take a flat definer brush and I'm gonna push the darkest shade, the black called Limitless, closest to my lash line, and then I'm really gonna smudge and blend it out with an M507. So the next shade I'm gonna take from within the palette is a shade right here. It's called Independent. It's such a pretty kind of like blue gunmetal shade. Like, I haven't used a shade like this in forever. Like, I can't even remember the last time I did it. So I'm taking it on my finger and I'm just pressing it onto my eye. Like, I'm going like full blown cool tone smoky eye. Who is she? We do not know her. Like, I never do looks like this, but I really wanted like a change of pace. I am gonna switch over to more of like a pencil brush. This one right here by Morphe is a M321. And I'm only using this just so that way I can get super close to like the very inner corner of my eyelid. Now keep in mind, I'm applying the shadow completely dry and it is so pigmented all on its own. I am going to spray my brush with a little bit of fixing mist just to give it a little bit more slip and just allow it to be like a little bit more like beaming and pigmented. This also really helps me with like precision. So if I really want to place a color in a certain area without it going like everywhere, then I spray it with a little bit of fixing mist just so that way it stays exactly where I place it. Now I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the shade right here called Brave on an M507, and I'm just gonna blend it into that shadow. And I'm starting off with the shade called Brave before I go in with the shade right here called Limitless, is because, I don't know, there's something about going in with a very dark black all at once. I really like to build. So I like to take a brown and then take a black because it just makes me feel a little bit better and just a little bit more confident when placing the eyeshadow. Now going back into Limitless on that flat definer, I'm just going to repeat the same steps of really just packing on that black eyeshadow. And I really want to pack on the black shadow, especially like over that gunmetal gray. I don't just want to put it like where the brown is because I really want to feather this black into both shades, not just one. So I'm gonna go back into a clean M507 and I'm just gonna start really smoking it out in the outer corners. So the next step to all of this is to take kind of like a flat shader, but like fluffy flat shader, and really just buff out these edges right here. I'm just gonna go in and really lighten up that edge just so that way it's not so stark and harsh. And I really wanna blend like this gunmetal blue into all of the other colors. And really, you don't need to go in with that much pressure at all. You really just want to lightly soften the lines. So far I feel like this is looking really, really good. I definitely want to add like some lightness to the overall look. So I'm going to take this glitter eyeshadow right here by e.l.f. It has like blue reflex in it, and I think it will really complement the eyeshadow very, very nice. Now, you guys know I don't really love to go in with like liquid eyeshadow directly onto my lid. So I'm taking some on the very back of my hand, and then I'm going to go in with that Sephora brush, the number 15. By the way, I really, really recommend these Sephora brushes. I feel like they are really, really worth the money. I'm gonna pick up a little bit onto this brush, and I'm lightly gonna tap it onto like the center of the lid. So I'm just gonna press it here, and I'm not going to put it onto the eyeliner at all. I feel like this adds a really, really nice element to the look. And I said the center, but I took it like a little bit higher than what I wanted, but I still feel like it is really pretty. Gonna bring it down some, like all over that gunmetal, even in like the inner part of the eye, because I feel like it is so pretty. So right now I'm at a point where I'm like, do I do a wing or do I not do a wing? But I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm gonna do the rest of my face, and then if I need a wing, I'll add it later. So I'm gonna take my Billy wipes. You guys know I've been obsessed with the Wonder Wipes by Billy. I will actually have a link down below for you guys to shop them. You can get them on a subscription for $9, which is amazing for me because these are infused with vitamin C serum, and they just do wonders for my skin. I'm using this to clean up the fallout. I do have quite a bit underneath my eyes. I have glitter, I have eyeshadow, I literally have everything sitting under here. I'm not going to worry too much about getting it super close to the lash line because I do want to go ahead and smudge that brown and black on my lower lash line just to kind of bring the entire look together. But so far, I'm really, really loving the eyeshadow palette. I can't believe it took me this long to try it out. I feel like the formula is incredible, the pigmentation is incredible, and it blends out very, very nicely. Granted, I do have a significant amount of fallout under here, but it's nothing I'm too concerned with. Now that I got all of that off my face, I am going to spray my face with a little bit of this by Glow Recipe. This is the Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. It's going to add nice hydration to the skin. I really love the smell, and I love the way it makes my skin feel. So I'm going to use that to prep my skin. I'm also going to change up the paste a little bit. Instead of using like my typical face primers like the e.l.f. Poreless Putty or the Milk Hydro Grip, I am going to use this right here. This is by Hourglass. This is the Mineral Primer. It's oil-free and it has SPF 15. I got this in PR recently, and I'm like, wow, I haven't used this in so long. I want to use it in today's video. So I'm going to put this all over to really prep my skin for foundation. Ooh, and it feels super silky. Oh wow, my skin feels really, really good. This definitely isn't a new product for me. I have tried it out in the past, but honestly, I can't remember how I feel about it. Like, I didn't use it for a long period of time, and then I went to use it again, and it was like completely like spilled over my makeup drawer, so I had to toss it. So I'm really glad I have it in my makeup collection again. All right, skin, it's nice and prime. You guys already know the next step. I am going to color correct. I'm gonna use this by Pixi. This is my tried and true brightening peach concentrate. It really covers up all of like the darkness and stuff underneath my eyes. And while you guys may not think I have dark circles, this makes the world of a difference. And I can't find my brush. But yeah, it makes the world of a difference. It really helps combat like my dark circles and stuff. It just does the job. By the way, the brush I'm using is a number 57 by Sephora collection. This is a part of their relaunch. They did rebrand their entire collection, and I am such a fan. Like, I really, really am. I love Sephora collection brushes. I feel like they're extremely high quality, and the brushes make sense. You guys know, like, brush collections, when they launch, some brushes in there really don't make sense. These brushes all make sense. They're all brushes that I would very much use in my day-to-day makeup routine. So if you guys are like VIB, if you're a beauty insider, or if you're a VIB Rouge, I definitely recommend checking out some of the brushes during the Sephora sale, so you can get like 20% off. At least that's what I always do whenever there's a sale. I always will pick up like one Sephora collection brush, but now I have them all, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm just taking this on my lip as well, and right here where my smile lines are, because I do get a little bit of darkness in this area, and when I don't cover it up, I could really tell in pictures. So we are gonna color correct. All right, skin, it's coming along. I'm honestly really happy with the way that things are looking. Now for foundation, today I am gonna do a little bit of a cocktail. I recently picked up the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation in the shade Nude. This is my tried and true Holy Grail high-end foundation right before the Too Faced Born This Way. Like, this one, I always buy it. It's a foundation I constantly repurchase over and over. I ran out of it for several months, and since the sale was here, I figured I would just restock it. So I'm gonna use this today. I'm also gonna mix in a little bit of the Skin Fetish Pat McGrath Labs foundation. I know this is a very, very expensive combo, but I just want to see what both look like together. You could definitely just use the stick foundation on its own or whatever foundation you have in your collection. So I really like to take this foundation and do stripes on my face. I've missed this foundation so much. I feel like my skin is literally gonna come back to life. Yeah, so I literally do a bunch of little stripes all over. Don't at me. I know this is a lot of foundation, but I'm all or nothing, like full coverage or nothing at all. That's literally me, especially when it comes to my face makeup. Like,
darn this stuff.
Light coverage, we don't know her. I'm also gonna mix in just a little bit of this Pat McGrath foundation. I picked this one up in the shade, actually, where's the shade? Light Medium 10, and I wanna say I used this once. I did find the coverage was a little bit light for my liking, so that is why I'm mixing it in with the Hourglass foundation. I'm just gonna do a couple dots with this brush right here from Sephora collection. This is the Pro number 47. I don't believe that this brush is a part of their permanent collection, which makes me sad because this is one of my favorite like cream contour brushes. Like, it is so good. It's also really, really good for foundation. But I'm gonna take this and I'm actually going to use it to really buff and blend out my foundation all over. If you guys have tried the Pat McGrath foundation, let me know how you guys feel about it. I know it is a very, very pricey foundation, but sometimes I don't mind splurging on high-end makeup, especially when there's a sale, and I want to say I picked this up during a sale a little bit ago. I'm gonna take a damp sponge. This is my e.l.f. Total Face Sponge, and I'm just going to tap it all over, just so that way I don't have any streaks or anything like that before I move on. By the way, definitely go pick up the Total Face Sponge by e.l.f. It is incredible. You will not regret it, and you can thank me later because it is that good. So let's talk concealer. I will be using this concealer right here by Jouer. This is the Essential High Coverage Concealer Pen. I have two different shades. I have Custard, and then I also have Macadamia. I'm gonna mix the two. I really like this concealer because it's nice and hydrating underneath my eyes. It kind of reminds me of a concealer form of the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. If I'm being honest, I really love the consistency of this. Like I said, I'm gonna take it underneath my eyes and I'm mixing Custard and Macadamia, but this is me being hella extra. You definitely don't need to mix two shades. I'm also gonna take a little bit of this concealer down the center of my face just to highlight. Concealer is nice and blended out. I now want to go in with a little bit of cream contour, and I do have a brand new product from Fenty Beauty. These are their cream bronzers. These are called Cheeks Out. I'm going to use a shade called Macchiato. I do have 3 shades here, but this one looks like it is going to be the better match for me. And the brush I'm going to use is also by Fenty. This is the 125 angled face brush. So I'm just going to kind of swirl my brush in here. Ooh, this picks up the product really, really nice. And I'm gonna use this to just add some definition to my look. I love a good cream bronzer, you guys have no idea. I'm obsessed with the Fenty Beauty matchstick, so I think it's cool that they came out with like a cream version in like a compact form. This one, I could do something like a little bit darker. I think I might go in with like shade 5 after this, but it's adding really nice color to my foundation. And I really love to use creams, especially to add like additional hydration to the skin. And I just feel like they blend out so much better. They look very, very like natural and very skin-like. Another thing about creams is I just feel like it adds like an additional layer of coverage to the areas you need on like the perimeter of your face. I'm gonna switch over to the shade called Teddy. It is like 2 shades darker than the shade called Macchiato, and I'm only gonna use like a little bit of this, like right here closest to my hairline, just to kind of deepen up this cream contour. Trying to be careful not to create like a bronzer helmet, but I mean, if I do, I do. Yes, I definitely feel like this needed like a darker contour. So in the process of buffing out that cream contour, my under eye area kind of got some creases. So I definitely want to set these down and in place. So I'm going to use this Hourglass Vanish powder, like the loose translucent powder. This is not new by any means. It's been out for a little minute, but it is my very first time trying it out. So I am so excited. I know a lot of people really love this powder. I'm going to pick up a little bit on my sponge. I'm going to tap off on the back of my hand just so that way I don't pick up too much. And I'm going to look up and I'm going to press it right here closest to my nose in my under eye area. And I'm only picking up a little bit of this powder just because I am working with like a lot of cream, so I don't want things to get too weird, but I still want my under eye area to be set. Speaking of which, I did get a brand new like under eye powder by McGrath. I ordered this during the sale. This is the Skin Fetish Blurring Under Eye Powder, and I picked mine up in the shade medium. So I'm gonna pop this open. I do think the packaging on this is so sick. I really love Pat McGrath's packaging in general. So I'm gonna tear this open, or for that matter, I kind of need to cut it, don't I? Oh, my scissors. Oh my goodness, this is messy. Okay, I'm gonna get all the little things off, but this is what the powder looks like, you guys. It is so cute. Ooh. Okay, so again, I picked up the shade medium. Ooh, it's actually not dark at all. Score, I'm so happy about that. The brush I'm gonna use is this brush right here. This is by Hourglass. I'm actually gonna pick up just like a little bit more of the Hourglass loose powder, and I'm gonna use it to set here. Ooh, this is actually a really nice brush. Okay, so anyways, I'm gonna pick up some of that powder on that Hourglass brush and I'm gonna set it underneath my eyes. I actually like that this powder isn't too light, and it's like setting very, very nicely. Like it is a very, very fine powder. Should I have gotten a lighter shade? I do not know. I feel like it is doing something a little bit weird in this area because it's looking like it's kind of doing like a cast. Oh no, am I sad about that? A little bit. Okay, I definitely have to continue trying out this powder to let you guys know if I like truly love it. But anyways, moving on, let's talk about cream blush really quick because I also have the cream blushes from Fenty, which is super exciting for me. I do have 2 shades here. This is called Petal Poppin'. It is such a beautiful kind of like soft pink shade. And then I also have this one right here. This is called Fuego Flush. This one, I feel like it will like complement the overall look. So I am going to apply it with a brush. I'm going to use this Smashbox brush. This is called the Angled Powder, but I'm going to use it for cream. I'm going to pick up some of this. I'm really going to saturate my brush really well. I'm going to tap off on the back of my hand, and then I'm just going to put it on the apples of my cheeks. Let's go to town. Why be afraid? I really love the pigmentation on this. Okay. Ooh. I love that it really deposits enough pigment to the point where you can see it. I feel like one of my biggest things whenever it comes to cream blushes is I can't really see it on the cheeks, but I'm not really applying all that much at all, and you could very much see it. These are very, very pigmented, and I kind of love that. I also love the fact that it doesn't make my cheeks look greasy at all, and it's not really accentuating any texture or anything like that. Because it is a hydrating product and because it is shiny, I feel like it could really draw attention to any texture you may have in this area, but I am not getting that whatsoever, and I think that this is beautiful. Let me know if you guys have tried these and let me know what you guys think of them. For me, so far, they're definitely a win. So let's go back in and finish off the lower lash line. I'm gonna pick up this light brown called Loyal and the dark brown called Brave. I'm kind of gonna do a cocktail and mix the two. And I'm gonna push it closest to my lower lash line. Really gonna get in there and smudge it out just to kind of bring everything together and just connect. And I'm really gonna concentrate on really packing this on and pushing it closest to the lash line. Just like that. And then I'm gonna take a M507, a clean one, with a little bit of Loyal on it. It's not clean if I'm putting Loyal on it. Anyways, I'm gonna take this brush with a little bit of that light brown and I'm gonna smoke it out. Now, since I am doing a very rich gunmetal smoky eye, I'm definitely gonna go in with a black liner in my waterline. So I'm gonna use our Bold Face Liner by Collab. This one is in the shade Drama Queen. I really love this because it's very creamy in the sense that it glides on without really like trying too hard. But once it sets, it doesn't smudge or budge or go anywhere. It's creamy in a sense that it goes on very smooth, but once it sets, it stays in place and it does not smudge at all. So you want to work fairly quick with this and really go in and like set the tone. Ooh, I love that. I'm also gonna go in with a little bit of that black and I'm gonna push it closest to the lash line. So for the most part, eyeshadow is done. I'm now gonna pop on false lashes. I'm gonna use these right here by Lilly Lashes. These are in the style Mykonos. They are super dramatic, but I definitely feel like this look calls for a very dramatic pair of falsies. And I really love how they're super full, like in the center. So I'm gonna pop these on and then we'll come back and finish off the rest of the face, but we're almost done, so don't worry. Then with a little bit of mascara, I'm just gonna kind of coat my lashes with the false lashes just to get them to blend a little bit better. These are so full, so fluffy, and honestly that's what I really love about Lilly Lashes, is that they are so full and fluffy. They're definitely more dramatic, don't get me wrong. They have some really beautiful kind of like wearable pairs, but I live for a good dramatic pair of lashes, especially with a smoky eye like this. I'm also going to take a little bit here on the lower lashes. So looking at my makeup from afar, I definitely want to set down certain areas with powder. So I'm going to go in to the Sunstock bronzer in the shade Shady Biz. And I'm just going to powder down like around the perimeter of my face with a little bit of this bronzer. Just so that way it's not super shiny. And I'm using that Hourglass brush to do this. I'm also going to, of course, take a little bit of my Sunstock bronzer down the sides of my nose just to kind of bronze a little bit and just bring forth some definition. So I definitely feel like this look calls for a highlighter. So I'm going to use this little Dior quad. Couldn't think for a second. This is the Dior Backstage Glowing Face Palette in the shade Glitz. I think it is so pretty. I did not pick this one up during the Sephora VIB Rouge sale this time around, but last time around, I literally could not No, I could not resist. I am gonna mix these two shades together just so that way I could get like a really beautiful glow to the skin. There's something so special about Dior highlighters. Like, if you guys have not tried them, I definitely recommend. I'm really just focusing the highlighter here and not so much here, just because I feel like the blush is already giving me such a beautiful natural glow. And this definitely has like a hint of glitter to it, so if you're not the biggest fan of it, just go ahead and tap off with the sponge. I'm also going to take a little bit of this highlighter on the tip of my nose. So I'm going to take like a pencil brush. This one here is from Morphe, and I'm just going to pop it right here on the center. And also I'm going to take a little bit of the lightest shade and put it right here in the inner corner of this look. For setting spray, I'm gonna use this brand new setting spray by Hourglass. This is the Soft Focus Setting Spray. I'm going to give it a very, very good shake, and I'm gonna use this to set my makeup down and in place. Now, since I have some pink going on with the cheeks, I'm definitely gonna go in with more of like a pink lip color. I'm gonna use this lip liner called Baby Lips by Mercier. I'm gonna line my lips with it, and I'm probably gonna fill them in completely. And then directly over top, I'm gonna put this MAC lipstick in the shade called Yash. Now that lips are done, this is the final and completed look, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the process of me creating this look. Honestly, I had no idea what I was gonna do when I sat down, but I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. It's a really pretty gunmetal smoky eye. It's dark, it's real dark. It's dark, it's sultry, and it's completely different than looks I usually film on this channel. So if you guys want to see a change of pace, if you guys want to see any other videos, make sure you guys subscribe. Also, like this video if you guys like it and you guys want to see more videos just like this. That is it. I'm gonna go. I have a mess in front of me that I need to clean up. I love you, and I will talk to you guys all very, very soon. Deuces.